My name is Coach G, the CEO, co-creator of Extraordinary Outcomes. I'm an ordinary person with extraordinary aspirations who believes in living life fully alive. Welcome to Monday Morning Magic. Good morning, CEOs. Good morning, co-creators of Extraordinary Outcomes. Welcome to Monday Morning Magic. You know what time it is? It is 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great topic for you today. As you can see, the power of one. And as we normally do, let's get right into it. Let me check in and find out how people's weekends were. My weekend was absolutely fantastic. Got a chance to meet with a client, help them shape their career. Awesome. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can go to Coach B, the CEO. That's Coach B dash the CEO on YouTube. Please subscribe, like, share, or leave a comment. Last week we just went live on YouTube just to see if the numbers changed. Actually, it did. What it did was drive more viewers to the YouTube channel. Again, we're working on increasing our subscription. So if you're listening on a regular basis and you're getting something out of it, please subscribe. The subscription doesn't cost you a thing, it is free. But what it does is help me help other people to give them information that they may need or want, or it could help build their motivation for the day. Sometimes people need external motivation before they tap into their internal motivation. So, again, help me get those numbers up so we can continue, or I can continue to help other people. And when I say we, a lot of people's like, who's we? Is this you on the channel? Well, the channel is actually called Hope, helping other people every day. I am the host, Coach B, the CEO, the co creator of Extraordinary Outcomes. And again, today's topic is the power of one. The power of one. One thing at a time, one day at a time, practicing one day, practicing one thing one day at a time. The reason for this is that many times a lot of us are taught to multitask, to do three or four things at one time. And what can happen is that nothing gets completed because we're so busy working on multiple things at a time that we don't come to a place of completion. And I want to share something with you as I normally do. But before I do that, what I want to do is get into the definition of one. I'm a big proponent of definitions because I would like people to know what perspective I am coming from. So, one, single, just one, as opposed to in more, or to none at all. And notice I put none at all. I changed the color for emphasis because sometimes we go all or nothing, all or nothing. And those are two extremes. If I don't have the right thing at the right time to do this, that, or the other, then nothing gets done at all. Or the opposite is trying to do too many things at one time and nothing gets completed. What we do know, the research has shown that when we continue to do one thing repeatedly, it turns into an habit. There is something called momentum, and there's exponential results. So, what does that mean? I am goal oriented. When I think about coaching and I think about serving people, what I'm thinking about is how can a person reach a goal that creates a future for them that they are proud of, that they are happy of because they want to be there, opposed to a default future where people are just like, well, I'm here, I'm doing what I can, and that's it. One of the ways to create a created future is by doing one thing at a time, doing one thing a day at a time. This this yields better results. I'll use myself again as an example, the power of me, right? The power of I. When I first started my business, I was all over the place because I felt like I had so many different things to do. So many different things to do. I was grasping at this and grasping at that, grasping at this and grasping at that because I felt like there were so many components to put together. And then one day I decided to slow down, to slow down, slow down, slow down. And what eventually happened once I started to slow down and get clarity on what it was that I wanted to accomplish, my business changed for the better. I had to start incorporating doing at a time, one thing at a time per day. And you might say, well, Coach B, that doesn't sound like a lot. If I tell you that it meant that the one thing could have been a large project, the one thing could have been a small project, but I needed to complete the one thing. What the one thing did, it helped me to create a whole curriculum, a 350-hour curriculum for those who want to study for their CASAC and become clinical counselors. The one thing taught me how to focus and to stay focused so that I could complete something. Did I write 350-hour work for curriculum material in one setting? No. But what I had to do was take one topic and say, you know what? I'm going to do this one thing for an hour. I'm going to do this one thing for 15 minutes. I'm going to do this one thing for a half an hour. So that meant that if I had a topic that required 5 or 6 hours for completion, what that meant was that I would break it down to smaller pieces and I'll spend 30 minutes because a lot of times when you're building a curriculum, you have to do research. Then you have to take the research and vet through the research to discover what it is that you want to use and what it is that you don't want to use, whether or not this makes sense to put this here or put that there. So, what I was doing, once I slowed down, I was able to create a system of what it is that I wanted to create. I knew what the end goal was. The end goal was I needed 350 hours worth of curriculum that I can teach to help someone else to become a CASAC, a credential alcohol substance abuse counselor. Then, because I was able to learn how to sit still, do one thing at a time, one day at a time, it allowed me to do what? Build other curriculum material for other types of trainings. By having those trainings, now I have a product. I have something that I can offer people who have a need because they have a desire, a dream, a goal, or potential because they want to serve other people. By me doing one thing at a time, developing a skill set, being able to create a product that people need or want, And the reason why I say need is sometimes when you're credentialed, you have to become re-credentialed. So sometimes you still have to take trainings to keep your original credential activated. So by me doing that, it created not only a curriculum for people to either get their initial certification, to renew their certification, it gave me the tools and skills to create other training material for other certifications or for other staff development. So, in the interim of doing that, people would come to me and say, hey, we need staff development for this, we need staff development for that. And when I say people, it could be individuals who are representing their organizations, or it could be the organizational head that says, hey, what training material do you have that our staff can benefit from? What this turned out to be, what this turned out to be when I first thought about it was I was doing it as a consultant to help other programs. But what happened in 2020, I was faced with a decision and I decided, Lila, you have the material ready. You already have your business established. You need to take this a step further. And in the interim, I took it and I created a avenue for me to be a DBA. And what does that mean? Doing business as. While the company and name had already been established, what I didn't have was my own clientele in terms of people coming directly to me. When you're consulting, you're helping another business through your business. But what I did was step back from the consulting and continue the training and the coaching. That was only possible because I created the business. Let me say that again. I created the business. And I don't talk enough about this in terms of who I am and what I do. I created the business. I made sure that I did the paperwork in terms of the legal paperwork, legal documentation. And out of a desire to have my own business, which started a long time ago. And I want to share with you, having a desire and doing it is two different things. That's another topic for another time. What I had to address within myself was, do I really want the business? And if so, what would it take to really operate the business? So sometimes people have product and they don't know how to sell it. Sometimes people have product, they know how to sell it, but they don't sell it. Sometimes people have product and they're afraid to take the first step to establish the business. Sometimes people have great ideas and they don't know the next step. I've been through all of those processes to get to where I am right now. So I had one thing on my mind that I needed to slow down and create. And the creation is helping other people every day. That is the name of the business. It is a training and coaching program. I want to be able to serve people who want to make changes in their personal lives that drive them to make changes in their professional lives. But in order for me to help other people, there was a process that I needed to go through in order to help them. So I know what it's like when I say slow down, slow down. You got a dream. That dream can come true. You can fulfill on that dream. However, it's going to take you implementing some action. It's going to take you to focus on one thing at a time, one day at a time. It's going to require discipline. It's going to require fortitude. It's going to require tenacity. It's going to require that you show up in ways that you never thought were possible for yourself. And you're going to get some pleasant surprises as well. So if someone was to ask me, if someone was to ask me, what would I do differently? I would say nothing, because all of it has been a learning curve for me. I discovered what my strengths were. I discovered what I could get better at. I discovered what I'm really, really good at. I wouldn't have been able to do anything if I didn't have a goal. Goals are important. And this is one of the reasons why you hear me talk about it so much. Implementation of the goal is so important. Being able to break down the goal into smaller steps, being able to get coaching, get assistance, getting a mentor, getting support, because your dream is potent. The dream is potent, and it's not going to materialize until you sit down, take a look at the big goal, and pull it into now. Pull it into now. So you know what you want to do, but now you got to pull it into now. And the only way to pull it into now, sorry, I hit the button by mistake. The only way to pull it into now is to slow down, find the one thing that you can do today. And that's the question. What's the one thing you can do today to bring you closer to your goal? It doesn't have to be 99 things, just one thing today. What's the one thing you can do today that's going to bring you closer to your goal? And it might sound like one is not enough. I'm here to tell you that when you do one thing, what happens is you get inspired. You get inspired. And when you get inspired, chances are you want to do more than one thing. You might turn around and do two things that day or three things that day. But the minimum qualification for now is to do one thing at a time for one day at a time. Pick something, whether it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. Pick one thing that you could do today and then follow it up. If it's a big project that has several parts to it, pick one thing out of that project that you can do today. An example would be, maybe you're trying to decide on the color of a flyer or a PowerPoint. Pick the pattern that you like today. The pattern is done. You never have to go back to changing the pattern. It's done. A lot of times when 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 I'm deciding what the one thing is, I'm like, Lila, make a decision. Don't sit up there and Coach B. I know. I got to get used to it too, right? I'll be like, Coach B, make a decision, because some of us get analysis paralysis and we overthink things. Make a decision, stick with it. Stick with it. Stick with the decision. And wait and see what the results are going to be. Again, listen, subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. The power of one. Try it for about 30 days. That's my challenge to you. That's, try it for 30 days. Work on one thing at a time. Stop multitasking. Work on one thing at a time for 30 days. And then come back and leave it in the comment and tell me what the results were. Let me know if you had more clarity, if you had more focus. Was it more productive? Did you see better results by just doing the one thing? The power of one. Guys, I am so excited to be here with you on Monday mornings and bringing this information to you. Again, like, share, leave a comment. And also in the description, there's a link. If you want a free coaching call, a 60-minute free discovery coaching call, hit the link, schedule an appointment, and I'm more than willing to be there to be of service to you. This has been your Monday Morning Magic. Like, share, leave a comment.